welcome back to my channel. So I've been wanting to do videos about acting school for so long, and I just keep putting it off because I want to make the perfect video that encompasses everything. But from what I'm gonna say, you'll hear that I've learned not to be a perfectionist so much anymore, so I'm just gonna make this brief overview right now. I'm sorry if you see me glancing down. I'm sorry if you see me glancing down quite a bit. I've made some notes just to keep myself kind of on track, so I'm gonna keep referring to them. So anyone who loves acting or has any notion of wanting to maybe say pursue it professionally has some hesitations. It's not stable, it's not guaranteed, you have to have some thick skin. And so along with all those worries comes the thought of, is acting school worth it? Do I want to dedicate several years of my life to a program that might not get me anywhere and people might not take seriously? Well, that answer will be different for everyone, but for me it has been exponentially worth it, and I would not trade those years for anything. So I've broken down kind of the categories of stuff I've learned, and I'm just gonna quickly go through them for you right now. So like many people, I have been on a quest for most of my life to take all my emotions, shove them in a ball, and shove them down where no one can get to them. Now, I've developed many tactics to avoid having to feel. I did so for a number of reasons, and it has led me to not being able to not only process, but even identify emotions that I've had. And this became a big problem in class because, you know, acting is about being someone else, and people have emotions. And some instructors I had would be so frustrated with me. They'd be like, why are you pushing? Why are you making these weird choices and it feels so fake? What would you do in this situation? And I'd be like, well, I would dissociate and freeze and block myself off and then go home where no one can see me and then distract myself so I don't have to feel it. I was being asked to authentically portray somebody else's experiences, and that required me to open up. And that was very, very hard for me, and it was a very gradual process. I'm still going through it, and it led to many, many breakdowns and having to seek therapy again for a little bit. But my instructors were so wonderful helping me through this. They'd been there themselves before, so they wanted to do what they could to help me through that difficult time, and I couldn't have done it without their support. And it's a process. First year, you know, we had Zoom school first year, so that was a little bit different. But second year was a lot of starting to ask those deep questions of why you're afraid to feel. And this led me to starting to break down a bit in my own time. So I would start to be more authentically myself, at least to myself. Then gradually this led me to being able to, in front of, say, a one-on-one with an instructor or with a friend, until eventually I would have some moments where I could connect to my character in class. And oh my God, when you can connect truly to your scene partner and the circumstances, it's magical. And it feels so good and releasing. Emotions are meant to be felt. Who would have thunk? So I'm at the point personally now where I can feel and cry and stuff very easily in my life. It's still a bit of a struggle during a scene, but I know I can do it. I know it's possible, so it's something I'm gonna keep working on. And I don't think I would have been able to get there on my own without these instructors' help. Because of my struggles in the past with eating disorders and trauma, I have been very disconnected from my body for a long time. I didn't really know how to naturally move it because I was uncomfortable, and also I didn't want anyone to see it. Which, when you're performing in front of your class and you're trying to not be observed, doesn't work. Johnny, how could you do this? Ugh. While I still can't say I'm in a place where I totally love my body and accept myself how I am, I'm a lot more grateful for it now. I'm grateful for what it allows me to do. And I'm starting to have the mindset of, fuck it, this is me, take it or leave it. We of course did all the acting school type of things to connect to your body. Walking at different paces. Show me a 2. 10. A 1. Trying to embody an element. Water can be smooth and grounded, but also can be violent and unpredictable. Being an animal, I chose a rabbit, much to the sadness of my niece. I will not be reenacting that now. And these are honestly all very helpful when exploring the physical expressions of a character. But for me, see, I'm unnatural. The most important thing I learned for me to connect to my body is Alexander technique. I encourage you to take a look at what that is. It's about exploring the mind-body connection and having you start to be a whole again. We often do this as children, but as we grow up and we learn different things about society, we learn to guard ourselves. And we had the most lovely instructor who, I swear this man could create world peace. He just has an aura of happiness, and he glides everywhere he goes with the straightest back you have ever seen. And it's something I now work on and practice little bits every day, and the days that I work more on it, I notice a huge difference in how my day goes. I feel better, I feel more present, and my back hurts less. I learned that my body and emotions are tied together, so if I really want to be able to connect in a scene, I need to do exercises to get myself in my body. Then I'll get out of here. And I've also learned of habits I do that block my emotions. For instance, you'll see me doing a lot of moving, that's part of it. But more specific ones are sighing, like, Johnny, I just don't know how you could do that. I do a weird mouth things, because I don't know why. I do a thing called creeping, where I don't feel comfortable standing solidly in one spot, so I feel like I need to shift around. And I would also speak in a low voice because I would feel weird speaking up here. That didn't feel natural to me, so I was hiding down in my lower register, which is not great. And also sucking in my stomach, which I have learned sets off a chain reaction and is the reason that I walk weird and I can't do a pirouette. And yet, believe it or not, I did learn some stuff about acting too. So it was really nice because each instructor sort of taught like a traditional technique, but mixed with their own things that they do for acting. So we learned about Meisner, about Chubbuck's 12 Steps, Stanislavski, and Shurtleff's Guideposts. And not every teacher's technique will work for you, but it was really nice getting a big overview of different techniques and different skills, and then we get to choose which ones we do going forward. And sometimes even just having instructors say a sentence, they would say something that would just stick with you and you'd think. And sometimes it wouldn't even be an official technique, but an instructor would just say something that inspires you. Two things that really inspired me. Once, an instructor said, "Don't treat it preciously." I treat scenes preciously because I don't want to do it wrong. I don't want to mess up. But we're humans, portraying humans. Humans are made of mistakes. And so if you eliminate that, you're eliminating humanity. And another one was, do it beautifully. Everything you do it beautifully. I've always been interested in psychology and anthropology, so this has been perfect for me because acting's all about humans. So I see people a lot more differently now. I see life and experiences and people through a different lens. Everyone has their objective, everyone has their obstacles, and once you can kind of understand that, it makes life a lot easier. Since I was 12, I have spent my life being painfully aware of being perceived. I hated the idea of being judged, of not being good enough, or of, God forbid, looking stupid. And I always figured if I don't try full out, then I can't fail because I didn't do my best. But I learned that half-assing it often looks way more awkward. And when you're made to go out of your comfort zone in front of a group of people every single day for 3 years, you start to not care what people think of you as much. We were taught to let go of our egos because we're often told we have to be perfect and do things amazing. And there's so much pressure, but if you focus on that, you're never going to be good because you're getting stuck in here, and the head is the last place you want to be. Some of the weird exercises we do in my first year voice class, we had to stretch, but while we were stretching, we had to release noise. Ooh. Ah. And doing that with a bunch of people you didn't know, half of them on Zoom, was weird. We had a speech exercise where there were 2 people standing on boxes. reading speeches that they got online, and everybody else in the class would stand in the middle and move towards whoever's speech you found more interesting. That'll get you self-conscious. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier with the bunny, the animal exercises. So we started with having to be 100% human, then moving around being at 90% human, 10% animal, and so forth. Acting school bonds you like nothing else will. In first year, you're all shy and nervous because it's weird, but by third year, they'll be like, be a zombie, and you're like, without question. And you know what? As a very awkward and anxious person, I am proud of myself for getting through all that because it wasn't easy. My nervous system was dysregulated most of the time. Do I still judge myself? Oh my God, yes. Do I still psych myself out and second guess? Yes. But I'm not going to hold myself back anymore. I'm not going to wait until I'm perfect to do things because we'll never be perfect. We did learn some practical things too, which I will also tell you about. So we learned improv, which I used to be terrified of. You could not make me do it. But we actually learned some techniques that help make improv a little bit easier. We learned the basics of puppetry. We learned combat and gold. We learned motion capture, so we're all pretending to be video game characters. We learned voiceover, we learned dance, and we also learned screenwriting, which was very inspiring and now something I want to do as well. So no matter what happens in life, whether I do end up working in the entertainment industry or not, I would not trade those years because I grew so much as a person. I believe in myself now. The greatest thing I learned is how to be myself again, which I haven't been that for a very, very long time. I went into this wanting to increase my skills and get more confidence, and I believe I did both. Am I ready to be an A-list actor? No, I need to keep working on it, but now I have the skills and tools to go through and keep doing that. So if anyone out there is considering acting school, think about it. It's one avenue. It's not something you have to do, but it could help you as a person. This video is kind of rambly, kind of just broad. So if I do want to make more specific ones later, focusing on things, but let me know if you have any questions about acting school that maybe I can focus on some stuff. I'm rambling now. I'm gonna stop. Plus my break is over. Bye!